Hello, everybody, and welcome to Module 3, Chapter 4. And this chapter is all about mental health and caring for your mind. My name is Mr. Keynes, and I'm going to go over this fairly quickly and be as specific and in depth as I possibly can. So, I have the chapter reading, or excuse me, the PowerPoint slides here. You all hopefully have the textbook by now, and you can start reading the chapter at your earliest convenience. And just like I mentioned before, the reading is going to have more information. There's going to be more information that you need to know in the reading than the PowerPoint slides. The PowerPoint slides, it has a good amount of information. It's a great start, great guideline for knowing what to study for the test. But of course, reading the chapter. And this time around, I'm going to send out the study topics probably on Friday, this Friday for this test. So, yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna go over the assignments first. So just like you did last chapter, you're going to complete another self-survey, and it's on page 110 in the textbook. And um, it's called Self-Survey Recognizing Depression. And once you complete the survey, I want you to write a paragraph reflecting on the statements that you checked or did not check. And that's due Friday the 3rd. And then you have another assignment. This one is a little more in depth, more lengthy. And 400 words or more, I want you to respond to the attached document. So the attached document for the assignment, when you click the name of the assignment, and then click this Word document right here, you'll download the questions. And you're going to answer these questions here. Compare and contrast everyday blues to depressive disorder. So everybody has a bad day sometimes, here and there. But how does that differ from depression or a depressive disorder where it happens consistently? And just answer those questions that I have here. What characteristics differentiate the two? And you can research both of them and just make sure you cite your research. And when do you think one might seek professional counseling? And how and where can you get it? What is available here in Rockingham County? And what about the state of North Carolina? So write all that out in a 400 word paragraph. Okay. And that's due on Sunday, this Sunday. Okay. Easter Sunday. But hopefully you all can complete it as soon as possible. And that's it as far as the assignments. And yeah, because this chapter is all about caring for your mind. Sometimes we overlook on how important it is to take care of your mind, your mental health. We focus a lot on our physical health, our wellness, but we cannot neglect your mental health. And then you have the test. The test will open up on Monday, April 6th, and it'll close on Tuesday, the 7th. And you will have to use respondents again for this test, just like all tests throughout the course. But just let me know ahead of time if you would like to complete it in a testing center on campus. Okay. All right. So let's go over briefly the PowerPoint slides. So here's chapter 4, PowerPoint slides. All right. You'll need to know a little bit of the anatomy of the brain. Certainly the hypothalamus and the cerebellum, and you have the notes right here. The cerebellum, the cerebrum and the brainstem. The cerebrum is divided into two different hemispheres. So if you look at a brain head on, you'll see the right and the left hemisphere. The right controls the left side of your body. The left hemisphere controls the right side of your body. And just make sure y'all know that cerebellum. This is the cerebellum right here. It's responsible for coordinating movement, balance, and posture. That's why if you've watched sports and you see someone get hit in the back of the head, or they're playing football and they get tackled and their head bounces off the ground and they try to stand up, it's kind of scary for sure, but they try to stand up and you might see that they don't have their balance. But that's because they've there's a little bit of damage or some damage to the cerebellum back here that controls your movement, your balance and posture. And the brainstem is responsible for how for you controlling your breathing, blood pressure, heart rate, and other physiological symptoms. Okay, so make sure y'all know those three parts. You got the cerebrum. It's divided into two different hemispheres. The right controls the left side of your body, and the left controls the right side of your body. The cerebellum is responsible for coordinating movement, balance, and posture, and the brainstem is responsible for breathing, blood pressure, heart rate, and other physiological symptoms. All right, now I don't want y'all to, you are not going to have to label a brain, but I might ask you the blank of your brain controls coordinated movement, balance, and posture. And hopefully y'all would say the cerebellum. Just for example of a question I might have on the test. Inside the brain, so at a microscopic level, you've got four different parts of a neuron. We all have trillions of neurons within our body. And within the neuron, we've got these four different parts, four main parts. You got the cell body, which contains the nucleus, axon, and I'm gonna show you here on this slide. Come on up. But it's the long fiber that carries signals. So the purpose of the neuron is to transfer a signal sent from your brain to a part of your body, or to an organ, or to a muscle. And it happens instantly. It happens super quick, happens almost instantaneously. And the axon terminal is the end of the axon where the signal is transferred to the dendrites of a different neuron. So the dendrite, and you'll see here in a second. So here's a neuron, and you got the cell body right here. You've got the axon, the long tail that carries the signal, and it's attached to the dendrites of another neuron. And here's the axon terminal. So the axon terminal of one neuron, it transfers the signal via neurotransmitters, which I might have heard of before, to the dendrite of another neuron. And then that signal is transmitted all throughout your body, throughout nerves, and where it needs to go for a particular function. Could be to move your arms, move your fingers, for your heart to pump blood, for your stomach to digest. Um, yeah, so that's how signals are transferred throughout your body via neurons. So make sure y'all know the four different types of or parts of a neuron. Um, and based on your gender, It depends upon your gender, and there are differences in the brain. Men, we have a larger brain than women. It's probably because we're larger in size normally compared to women. Um, Women have um, a broader range of sounds. They hear sharper sounds. Their hearing is sharper. Men hear a broader range of sounds. So it just depends on the gender. Okay. So here's what's cool is that your brain is still developing. Even when you're in your early 20s, your brain is still developing. Your brain continues to develop throughout your first 25 years of life. So your brain is not fully developed until you reach the age around 24, 25, 26, when you're in your mid 20s. And then we start talking about mental health and the mental health disorders. Make sure y'all know what's important for a mentally healthy individual. And now we'll talk about the different disorders and conditions when it comes to your mental health. Make sure y'all know this. What is a mental disorder? Okay. What is a mental disorder? Um, okay. So yeah, and then we talk about the different disorders, conditions. Depression is the most common worldwide mental ailment. About 1 in 5 college students report depression. It's had a negative impact on their academics. And speaking from experience, I can certainly confirm that. It's tough on college students, especially if you're brand new to a new if you've traveled to a new city, a new state, it can be very daunting on you. And then you've got how depression affects different genders, the different genders, females and males, and the LGBTQIA plus community, how it affects that community. Major depressive disorder. It's just characterized as a sadness that does not end. That's when there's nothing going on positive in your life, and it's unfortunate. And people have to endure that. Okay. Treating depression, you got bipolar disorder. Here are the different anxiety disorders, phobias. Phobias, I'm sure y'all have heard of maybe arachnophobia, the fear of spiders. Acrophobia is the fear of heights. That's probably my main one, fear of heights. Um, Claustrophobia, I'm sure y'all have heard of, where your fear of tight spaces. Make sure y'all know those different types of phobias that are in the book. Um, Panic attacks, how that differs from panic disorders, generalized anxiety disorder. Okay, so just make sure y'all understand the different disorders and conditions and the symptoms. That's important. You got self-injury and suicide. Okay. So it's important for us to cover this stuff because it's prevalent amongst the college community, the college age students. Um, so yeah, but that's all I'll cover in this video, y'all. I try to make this as quickly as possible. But again, on this Friday, the 3rd, I will send out study topics for you all. And hopefully you will start studying and reviewing your notes. But always, I'm here for you. If you need help or have any questions, please let me know. And on that note, I hope you have a great day, a great week, and I'll talk to you all soon.